Do it live, you're having a laugh, mate. Far too much can go wrong. 27 centimetres. If Bud Light comes to the Perfect Draft, I'll... Well, hello there, Perfect Drafters. How are we doing? Are we good? Good. It's time for the May edition of the Big Bold Reviews. I forgot what I called it. Boldy's Amazing Perfect Draft Specials. That's right, it's the May edition of Boldy's Baps. So as always, we pretty much always start off with the new keg releases. And why not? Because this time, there's been a belter, hasn't there? In the shape of Vocation Life and Death IPA. What a beauty. What a beauty. Now, that at 6.5% is not one to be taken lightly. And you've got to think, you know, what we've already got on there, probably the Crew Republic is the closest. Goose IPA been around for a long, long time. But those two are probably the main competitors if you're going to compete amongst the kegs for this new Vocation Life and Death keg. But I think it's going to fly off the shelves. It's a beauty. It's good. I've had it in tins. I've enjoyed it. Obviously, I'll be reviewing it soon. That one, I think, will be a firm favourite moving forward on the Perfect Draft. The last news special just missed out on the first cider to hit the Perfect Draft. There it is. And it's not a bad one. You know, there's some people still moaning, you're always going to get the moaners, but let's face it, Orchard Pig, that is a good one. I thought, for the life of me, I thought that is going to be Stella Sidri. I thought it's got to be, it's got to be. It's written in the stars, either that or because of the Tenants release and stuff like that, maybe a Magners. They were the ones my money were on, but no. Orchard Pig, Snout Snout, Snaffle Snaffle, came to the Perfect Draft. Apparently a bit of a sweet little number, not too much carbonation, so therefore a bit easier to drink because some of those ciders can be a bit fizzy out the old bottle. So let's face it, that's going to be a belter. I think that's going to go down well, especially in the summer months. So Orchard Pig cider now on the Perfect Draft. That one comes in at 4.5%, so it's not a blow your head off cider. I'm sure they'll be working on that one next. And the Orchard Pig kind of range, they have got some pretty strengthy little numbers. So if they do expand that, you know, I'm sure if this one goes down well, then they will bring out some more punchy ciders. But a 4.5%er in the summer, nice and refreshing, I think that's going to do well. I've got it in stock. Again, there will be a review of that coming up. So they're the main two new kegs on the Perfect Draft. I'm sure there's going to be more. They seem to be really committed to now launching more kegs, which is good for all of us. Yes, we've seen some old favourites drop by the wayside. We've seen the old Dykirch Grand Cru. That was a belter. And that is a shame to see that go. A fair while back now, probably a year ago, you know, the High Wire, that was one of my faves. So there's been some good ones that have gone. Also the Dykirch Premium Lager, which I never got chance to try. Unfortunate that one, but that's gone. So while we do celebrate these new kegs, we have a little look and a little thought about those that have gone. So that's the new kegs. What else has happened over the past month? Well, they've launched a new kind of scheme. So what is that scheme? It is a love beer, hate waste scheme. And this is one to keep your eye on because here you can get some very good discounts. Here's an example of a nice little Crew Republic pack. Look at that. Good discounts there. You can't fault that. That's good. And that's going to hopefully come up more and more. Now, people do worry about the best before dates, but remember, they are best before dates. It's not going to hurt you if you drink that after that date. Yes, it can start to lose a bit of flavour, but unlikely. You know, sometimes you do get bad kegs, but you get bad kegs that are in date. You know what I mean? That are way before that best before. It can happen. So that's probably just coincidence if that's happened to you. So yeah, don't worry too much about those best befores. You'll be absolutely fine. You might pay a few more trips to the toilet. You know, that's all. So that love beer, hate waste, that's not exclusive to PerfectDraft kegs. Yes, they're doing it on that, but that's also on their bottles. It's also on their cans. So well worth checking out some of the discounts you can get on that love beer, hate waste scheme. So what else have we got? We've also got something that I didn't see impacting us, and it's probably not impacted that many people, but McColl's has been taken over by Morrison's, or they've acquired them. They've acquired them. I assume they're going to do like Morrison's, you know, stores on the high street type things. So they've acquired them. Now, how does that impact you as a PerfectDraft customer? Well, some of you may well have been taking back your kegs to one of those McColl's because they often did a Collect Plus service. So therefore, you can no longer do that. Morrison's have stopped that. That's gone. No more. But let's face it, there's plenty of other ways. And to be honest, I've never used that Collect Plus. Never used it. I just always get Yodel Man to womble up my drive, take my kegs off me. It seems easier. But there we go. Some people probably have been affected by that Collect Plus being stopped in that McColl's because Morrison's have taken over. But yeah, you can still use your affiliate stores if you get kegs from them. You know, you can return them to them. And some of those actually give you a little bit extra incentive, like £6 a keg back. I've seen it. It does happen. So check that out. If you have got a store near you that actually sells kegs, just go, wait up, mate. Hey up. How much for my returns? But it's worth an ask. It's worth an ask. And then obviously there's your Yodel Man as well. So if your Yodel Man's anything like mine, that's all right. He's good. So one thing I didn't mention last month, but is well worth a re-mention now because I think he's a new managing director of Beerhawk. But basically, Chapo sends out an email and he did allude to the fact that the PerfectDraft Pro may well be out towards the end of May. Whew. That could be a summer treat right there. So the PerfectDraft Pro, it gives you that temperature control. Oh, all my reviews now, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, especially with my left brun that I've just done, I thought, look, that could really do with a few degrees warmer. Would be a beauty. What about the dark arts? I've got to get another keg of that if I get that PerfectDraft Pro. Got to try that a few degrees warmer. Absolute essential. Also, there's been a little bit of a firmware update to it already. So you can actually take it down now to 0 degrees. So if you like your lagers really cool, and also that Orchard Pig cider, really cool, yeah? If you like it chilled as you like, get your sunglasses on, whack it down to 0 degrees, and you've got a cold little belter right in your hand right there. So yeah, bigger temperature range now on that PerfectDraft Pro. We're just waiting for it to release to all of us. I need to get my hands on it. So yeah, the chap did say towards the end of May, that will be released, well, with a fair wind. So there could be logistical and transportation issues. That's what they're saying. So therefore, it may well creep into June. But let's face it, it's just around the corner. So next up, just before recording this video, I checked my email and they've upped the referral scheme. So that's worth keeping an eye on as well. So you still get your £35 worth of tokens if you refer a friend. But the extra little incentive now is a £70 discount for your friend off the PerfectDraft bundle. 70 quid. So you could have got that recently anyway because there was doing a PD70 code that would have given you £70 off the machine. But now they've equaled that with your referral code. So before you was only getting £50 off the machine when someone referred you to it. Now that's 70. So that's well worth keeping an eye on as well. To add to that, they've also said that they're going to put you into a monthly draw for £250 worth of tokens. So another little incentive there. You have got to be thinking maybe they're trying to get rid of those machines because the PerfectDraft Pro's around the corner. But I think they're just going to still keep continuing with both machines anyway. And a lot of people do like that PerfectDraft machine from Philips. I do. I really do. It looks smart. For me, it looks probably a little bit smarter than the PerfectDraft Pro, but I've not got it, so I can't really comment. Obviously, when I do get it, I'll do a side-by-side. But I think they will continue with both machines. Whether or not they'll discount the Philips one a little bit more when the PerfectDraft Pro comes out, I don't know. Who knows? Only Beerhawk probably know that strategy. But let's face it, that PerfectDraft Pro is around the corner. So if you are referring your friend, probably nice just to let them know, yes, I'm referring you to this, and it is a belter of a machine, but there is a PerfectDraft Pro around the corner. It's wise to let them know. It's worth keeping an eye out because Beerhawk are going to be doing a Q&A session live on their social media channels. I'm going to be on the YouTube channel typing away, asking my questions to Beerhawk, but it's worth you doing so as well. So that was initially going to run on the 11th of May. They had a few technical problems, so that didn't happen. And then literally a couple of days later, they fire off these spammy emails through testing their new email system. So they have had a few technical issues recently, but hey, who's never had any issues? Let's face it, if I were going live, it would be a nightmare. So let's forgive them. Let's jump on those social channels when they go live. Let's fire some good questions at them and enjoy a little beer while we do it. Okay, and finally, something a little bit different. 3 in, 3 out. This is where I'm going to say about 3 kegs that are currently in stock, a nice little mix that I would put in a 3-pack that you could get a 15% discount off and basically try them. So I'm going to go for a lager, an IPA, and something a little bit different. So for my lager, I would go for a Stella Unfiltered. Just as good, if not a little bit better, I reckon, than the standard Stella, which is a very popular keg. So that's a good one, get that in. The IPA, what would I pick there? Go for the Le Virgin 360. It's an unsung hero, and what a hero. You've had a Brewdog, you've had a Goose IPA, you've had a Crew Republic, you've had all those, try that Le Virgin 360. And then for the something that's a little bit different, I would go for a Left Spring. So that's in there, it's a seasonal release, and it is a good one for this time of year. It's a little bit lemony, it's nice, light and refreshing. It's a little belter. So that's my little bit of a different keg. That's my lager, my IPA, and the little bit different of a 3-pack for you to try that's in stock. Now, what's out of stock that you should keep that beady eye on? Keep it on these ones, because when they come in, you've got to snap them up. You just got to. Pineapple Express, a limited edition keg, but one that's on there still. So you've got to think that it's got to be coming back in. It's a very fruity number. I wasn't over keen for the first 1 or 2 pints, but the rest of the keg I thought, yes, this is a beauty. So that's one to keep an eye on. Left Ruby, that's out of stock at the moment, and when the sun shines, people snap this one up. So as soon as it comes in, you want to be keeping an eye on that. It is a very fruity number, but a nice refreshing drink. Definitely one to have over the summer months. So that is one that you want to keep an eye on coming back into stock. And then finally, the last one that I'd put in that's currently out of stock, very surprising, but the standard Frankie. So that's out of stock. Now with those other 2 that I've just mentioned, the Pineapple Express and the Left Ruby, you're looking at well over £36, around about the £36 mark. Whereas the Frankie, that's around 32. So that's well worth snapping up. I like to put a bit of a cheaper keg in as well with when you're spending a fair bit like that. And the Frankie's a belter, yeah? Not the Frankie Royale. I really enjoyed that. The standard Frankie's still worth a try though. Very banana-y, quite heavy, but 2 pints of that goes down an absolute treat. So that's worth a try if you've not had that one. So them are 3 that you should keep an eye on that are currently out of stock for when they come back in. Anyway, people, I hope you have an absolute belter of a weekend. I really do. That was the May edition of Boldy's Baps. I don't know if I should keep calling it that. Anyway, have a good one. Hope the sun shines. Hope the ale flows. Enjoy whatever you're doing, people. Have a belter. Cheers.